Alright guys, JT with JT Gaming here. Today, we will be reviewing the Xbox version of Star Wars Squadrons. So, Star Wars Squadrons is the newest EA Star Wars game. It has you take the place of a rebel fighter, as well as a pilot for the Empire. The story mode is actually very interesting. It has a lot of different kinds of mission sets with different objectives and things like that. And there's a couple twists and turns along the way, which I think keep the story pretty fresh and give you a really good insight into how to play the game before you go over and jump into multiplayer. Now, speaking of gameplay, this game plays a lot more like a simulator than I was expecting, but in a good way. So I was expecting more of an arcade style Star Wars TIE Fighter game. And what I got was actually a pretty intricate flight system, as well as a game with a very, very steep learning curve. Speaking for me personally, I played it on Xbox, and playing with a controller was very difficult. I have to imagine playing on PC would be a whole lot easier. And I have heard really good things about the VR capabilities for this game. And a lot of people say it operates best that way. Also, keep in mind that they do have support for flight sticks if you have like a flight simulator rig. Although, from what I have heard, the implementation of this is not as open as a lot of people would like it to be. So, some button mapping issues and dead zone areas and things like that. But it's really good to see that they have the option open to play this game really however you want to play it. So, you have the ability to switch the power level of your ship between shields, weapons, and engines. So obviously shields make your ship harder to be destroyed, boosting your weapons makes your weapons hit a lot harder, and it allows you to shoot more before your weapons have to go on cooldown. While engines give you more speed, maneuverability, and the ability to boost your flight speed with a boost meter. You also have the ability to balance them all out, so your engines, weapons, and shields are all getting the same amount of power. And I think this adds a little bit of intricacy into the flight system, especially in dogfights in multiplayer, because you have the ability to switch your power to your engines, boost away, relocate, switch to your weapons, get into a better position, and fire back at the enemy. And I think it just gives you a lot of choice and options in the way you want to play the game, in the way that you can play the game, whether you have someone on your tail. So you boost your shields, get behind a rock, shift over to engines, boost away, and helps you get out of those sticky situations. And I think that's one of the reasons the learning curve in this game is so sharp, because if you don't use these different abilities to power different parts of your ship, you're not going to last as long as someone who does use those abilities. I think it makes it a lot less arcadey, and it really makes the fighting and the flying and everything feel really good, and it makes you feel like you're piloting that TIE fighter or that X-Wing. And I guess I should put a disclaimer here. Maybe I should have put it at the beginning, but you're getting it now. So I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I've actually been looking forward to this game. So if it feels like I'm going a little bit light on it, that could be why. But I really enjoyed this game. I mean, the flight intricacies are great. The sharp learning curves makes it feel like you are getting better and are learning how to actually pilot these ships to make yourself better. And I think the little bit more of a realistic take, which I know is a weird word to use when you're flying spaceships and dogfighting in space, but the more realistic and less arcadey feel to the game, I think was a great choice. You just have the ability to control what your ship is doing and how it's doing it. You have the ability to play story mode, you have the ability to play online multiplayer, you can even play multiplayer against AI opponents in the unranked fleet battles. And speaking of multiplayer, you obviously have the dogfights where it's team versus a team, most kills win, but there's also the fleet battles where you have a objective-based game mode, similar in vein, I guess, to the old Battlefront space battles. And it just makes this game feel fun, because you can just play this game however you want to. Now, granted, it's only a $40 game, and the story is only about 7 hours, maybe 10 if you really stretch it or you struggle in some parts, plus depending on your difficulty. But you get to play this game how you want to. So if you don't want to play online all the time, then jump in and play against AI in fleet battles. If you just want to fight other people in space, jump into some dogfights. It's really enjoyable, and I honestly didn't expect this game to be as good as it was. I kind of went in with pretty low expectations. I mean, EA has been obviously making some poor decisions in the past, and sometimes the Star Wars license just seems to have been kind of slowly degrading into what it really means when it's slapped on a game or a movie. But this is a really, really enjoyable game. It has great flight mechanics. It has a sharp learning curve, which means if you're doing well, it means you're doing well at the game. It's not luck, it's skill. And I know sometimes that might turn people off, but it's really enjoyable to learn the intricacies of piloting these ships, especially because there's different kinds of ships. You have your bomber, your support, your fast, kind of quick-hitting interceptor, obviously your normal X-Wing, and you obviously have all 4 of those ships on each side, whether it's Empire or Rebel. Another thing I really like about this game, especially coming from EA, is that it doesn't really seem to have any microtransactions that are relevant to the game. I mean, all of the cosmetics you can earn in-game through glory points that you get as you play online multiplayer, and you also get, as you level up, you get a different kind of currency where you can modify your ship's engines or its shields or its missiles, and you can get missiles that shut people's ships down for a second, like a small EMP. You can change your laser rifle guns to be a more long-range sniper style shot, or a more fast firing gun, or a burst firing gun. And it's cool that you have the ability to adjust this ship and customize your loadout to how you want to play the game. And you can do it on each and every one of those styles of ship. It's great to be able to put a Ewok on your dash with a little bobblehead and have the color of your ship be whatever you want it to be, with different decals and things like that. And it just lets you play this game how you want to play it. You get to look how you want to look, play it how you want to play it. And I think that's awesome. People that have been looking for a game like this for a while, a Star Wars style space ship fighting game, are gonna love this. I mean, it's awesome. And that's really all there is to it. Now, granted, it's just been released, $40 price point. Campaign could have been a little bit longer, I think, but for that $40 price point, 7 to 10 hours is pretty good. There are obviously a couple bugs. It's just launched, there's some stuttering, some frame skips, and things like that. Sometimes the AI can bug out a little bit, but for the most part, those bugs are noticeable, but not game-breaking in any way. And I think they'll be cleaned up with a couple updates. It's not like the game is coming out and they need to re-overhaul the whole thing and re-release it. Anthem 2.0. It's great. It's fun. The bugs are minor. And I really had a blast with it. Although I will say I am not very good at it. And there are people that are very, very good at it already and online. There are people that are clearly working as a team that is mind-blowing to see how they fly around together. There will be more than one missile locked onto you coming at you at the same time. So even if you dodge one, you're probably going to get hit by the other one. Or if you drop your flares, it's really fun. And I think there is a lot of room for teamwork, for tactics, for cool different kinds of builds that people might not be expecting. And from what I saw from it, obviously it's pretty recently come out, but I didn't really see any kind of meta. So it didn't seem like any of the ships were better than the other ships. Obviously, your bomber's not going to be good at shooting in comparison to a normal TIE fighter. Obviously, a bomber's not going to be good as an X-Wing, or the TIE Interceptor is going to be a little bit faster, but less beefy than the actual TIE fighter. They're good at what they do. It does not seem like there's any kind of game-breaking balance issues. It seems like I could do just as good with the Interceptor as a TIE fighter, depending on how I played it. Obviously, I had to play to those ships' strengths. It seems pretty balanced. Very minor bugs. This game lets you play how you want to play. And I just think that this is a game that's going to grow a really good community. And I think it's going to be around for a long time. So if you really do get into this game, I think it'll have some longevity just because it allows you to make the game fun for yourself. And it doesn't require there to be a ton of content coming from the game. It allows you to play this game how you want to, whether it's VR, PC, controller. And it's just fun. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. And yeah, I might love Star Wars. I might be a little bit jaded, but it's really fun. And it's a lot more than what I expected. And I think that if you enjoy any kind of flight sim or Star Wars, I think you definitely need to pick this up. I mean, it's a blast, and I would recommend it to anybody, especially at that $40 price point. Alright guys, this was my quick and easy review for Star Wars Squadrons. If you like this review and want to see more like it, feel free to like and subscribe. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. And if you want to come hang out when I'm live on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Twitch link will be down below. And I'll see you soon.